What if I told you that the greatest genius who ever lived died 505 years ago? But what if he didn't? What if Leonardo da Vinci was alive today with access to artificial intelligence, quantum computers, and space technology? Today, we're diving into one of history's most fascinating minds and imagining how this ultimate Renaissance polymath would revolutionize our modern world. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see technology, art, and science in a completely different way. But first, let's understand who Leonardo da Vinci really was.
Who was Leonardo da Vinci? Born in 1452 in a small Italian town called Vinci, Leonardo was literally born to change the world. But here's what most people don't know. He was actually an illegitimate child who couldn't even attend university because of his birth status. Yet this disadvantage might have been his greatest advantage. While other scholars were stuck reading ancient texts, Leonardo was out there observing nature directly. He dissected corpses in secret, studied bird flight for hours, and filled thousands of pages with his famous mirror writing. But calling Leonardo just an artist or inventor doesn't do him justice. This man was a master painter who created the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, an engineer who designed helicopters 450 years before they were built, an anatomist who mapped the human body with unprecedented accuracy, a military strategist who invented tanks and machine guns, a mathematician who studied geometric proportions, a musician, architect, and even a party planner for nobles. Think about this. He designed a parachute in 1485. The Wright brothers didn't fly until 1903. He was literally centuries ahead of his time.
But here's the heartbreaking part. Leonardo lived in the wrong era. Most of his incredible inventions remained on paper because the technology to build them didn't exist. His helicopter design was perfect, but there were no lightweight engines. His tank design was brilliant, but metallurgy wasn't advanced enough. He once said, "I have offended God and mankind because my work did not reach the quality it should have." But it wasn't his fault. He was a 21st century mind trapped in a 15th century world. So, imagine, what could this ultimate genius accomplish with today's technology? If Leonardo da Vinci were alive today, I believe he'd be the most dangerous innovator on Earth. And here's why. First, he'd absolutely revolutionize digital art and virtual reality. Remember, this is the man who perfected sfumato, that smoky, mysterious technique in the Mona Lisa. Now imagine him with VR headsets, AI-powered brushes, and holographic canvases. He'd probably create the first truly immersive art experiences where you could literally walk inside the Mona Lisa's world. But knowing Leonardo, he wouldn't stop there. He'd combine art with neuroscience, creating paintings that adapt to your emotional state in real time using brain-computer interfaces.
But here's where it gets really exciting. Leonardo would be obsessed with artificial intelligence. Why? Because his entire life was about understanding patterns in nature and replicating them artificially. He spent years studying how birds fly to design his flying machines. Today, he'd be studying how the brain works to design better AI. I genuinely believe Leonardo would solve artificial general intelligence within a decade. Think about it. He was already trying to create artificial humans with his automaton knight in 1495. With today's robotics, neural networks, and quantum computing, he'd probably create the first truly conscious artificial being.
Remember Leonardo's obsession with flight? Well, today, that wouldn't be enough for him. He'd be designing spacecraft, probably working with SpaceX or starting his own space company. But knowing Leonardo's style, he wouldn't just copy existing rocket designs. He'd study how seeds spread in the wind, how dolphins move through water, and how birds navigate by magnetic fields. Then, he'd create biomimetic spacecraft that are both more efficient and more beautiful than anything we have today.
I bet he designed the first practical space elevator, combining his engineering genius with modern materials like carbon nanotubes. And knowing his artistic side, it would be the most beautiful structure ever built.
Now let's talk about medicine. Leonardo was doing detailed anatomical studies 500 years ago, when dissecting human bodies was forbidden by the church. He performed over 30 dissections and created the most accurate anatomical drawings of his time. Today, with MRI, CT scans, genetic sequencing, and CRISPR gene editing, Leonardo would revolutionize medicine. He'd probably solve aging within 20 years. How? By combining his artistic eye for patterns with modern biotechnology. He'd study why some cells live longer than others, design artificial organs that are better than natural ones, and maybe even figure out how to regenerate entire limbs. Remember, this is the man who was fascinated by how plants grow and how water flows. He'd apply those same principles to human biology.
Here's something fascinating. Leonardo was one of the first people to understand the water cycle. He studied how water moves through the earth, evaporates, forms clouds, and rains back down. He was essentially an early environmentalist. In today's world, facing climate change, Leonardo would be our greatest ally. He designed biomimetic wind turbines inspired by maple seeds, solar panels that track the sun like sunflowers, and water purification systems based on how kidneys filter blood. But knowing Leonardo, he wouldn't just solve climate change, he'd make the solutions beautiful. Imagine solar farms that look like art installations, or wind farms that create music as they spin.
Perhaps most importantly, Leonardo would revolutionize education. He believed in learning through direct observation and experimentation, not just reading books. Today, he'd probably create the world's first truly immersive learning platform. Students could dissect virtual bodies in perfect 3D, design and test machines in physics simulations, and collaborate with AI tutors that adapt to their learning style. He'd probably start a new Renaissance academy where art, science, technology, and philosophy are taught together, just like in his own studies. No more separating left brain and right brain subjects.
But let's be realistic. Even today's Leonardo would face challenges. His perfectionism would probably frustrate investors who want quick profits. His interdisciplinary approach might confuse academics who prefer specialization. And honestly, he might be overwhelmed by today's pace of information. Leonardo spent months perfecting single paintings. Could he adapt to our move fast and break things culture? But knowing his adaptability and curiosity, I think he'd not only survive, but thrive in our connected world. So what do you think? Would modern Leonardo be the ultimate tech entrepreneur, the greatest artist of our time, or something completely unexpected? The truth is, Leonardo da Vinci's greatest gift wasn't any single talent. It was his insatiable curiosity and his ability to see connections where others saw separation. In our age of specialization, maybe we need more people like Leonardo, those willing to explore the intersections between art and science, technology, and humanity. What historical figure would you like to see in the modern world next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more What If History Lived Today content.